Game show coming to you live from Studio A. A means annihilated, like that ball that Andrew Benintendi hit. Maybe the A stands for Andrew. Welcome into Studio A of our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. Alongside me, Herb Lawrence.
Hello.
You can follow him on Twitter at Ecknerwall23. You can follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. He's our CHGO White Sox community leader. You can follow the show at CHGO_White Sox. We've already done one episode today, and it was because of Andrew Benintendi. I mean, we just have to marvel in this man. I mean, the biggest contract in franchise history, and he proves it again today. I mean, bottom of the ninth inning, when you need your superstar to step up, to drive in runs, to knock in home runs, like, you know, you sign a guy for $75 million to do, and he comes up not only with his third homer of the season, not only with this clutch homer, but the first left-handed hitter to hit a home run off a left-handed pitcher since Zach Collins did it in Seattle on April 6, 2021. They still lost 6-3, though. And, Herb, did you hear?
Yeah.
The reason we did the episode earlier actually wasn't because of Benintendi. They actually fired everybody.
Yeah, probably because Andrew Benintendi has only had 2 home runs before this game.
Oh.
Man, if he would have hit this third home run and they would have not fired Kenny and Rick, I think they would have retained their jobs.
I think so, too.
They're like, oh, he's man's going up to 5 this year. Great signing, Rick. That's what he had last year as a Royal/Yankee.
Kenny and Rick actually had a bet, too. It was 15-10, though, instead of just your 10, right? So Rick was on your side of 10. He thought he would at least get to 10 home runs. Kenny was a little bit more bullish. He thought Benny was going to get up to 15. They were both wrong. You were wrong, too.
I was. Well, I'm not wrong yet. He can catch fire in the last 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
6 weeks.
Yeah, he's still got time. I guess he could. He just needs 7 more.
And then I don't pay you $100.
Yeah, I still can't believe you said yes to that. So I can't wait to get my $100.
Back in the day, it was like 0 in May. And I was like, there's no way he's going to go the rest of the season with less than 10 home runs. It's weird.
It's weird.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about that today. We got a big thing to talk about. We're actually not going to talk about that 6-3 loss probably at all. We're going to focus on the future of the Chicago White Sox. The future of the Chicago White Sox does not sit in 2023. After, if you missed the news, Jerry Reinsdorf fired everybody. Look at that. The White Sox relieved not only Ken Williams of his duties as executive vice president, but also Rick Hahn as senior vice president and general manager. Let's get through all of the dirty work here. Why don't we go through the statements for the people who missed them? We have the Jerry Reinsdorf statement that we read earlier when we had the urgent/emergency podcast.
Correct.
And then we'll have Rick and Kenny's statements, who just were released. So we'll do Jerry, then Kenny, and then Rick Hahn. So here is Jerry Reinsdorf's statement. First, the Chicago White Sox announced that Ken Williams, executive vice president, and Rick Hahn, senior vice president/general manager, have been relieved of their responsibilities effective immediately. Quote, "This is an incredibly difficult decision for me to make because they are both talented individuals with long-term relationships at the White Sox," said Jerry Reinsdorf, White Sox chairman. "Ken is like a son to me, and I will always consider him a member of my family. I want to personally thank Ken and Rick for all they have done for the Chicago White Sox, winning the 2005 World Series, and reaching the postseason multiple times during their tenure. I have nothing but the greatest respect for them as people and appreciate the commitment and passion for the White Sox they exhibited over the years. Ultimately, the well-worn cliche that professional sports is a results-oriented business is correct, Reinsdorf said. While we have enjoyed success as an organization and why we were optimistic heading into the competitive window of this rebuild, this year has proven to be has been very disappointing for all of us on many levels. This has led to me the conclusion that the best decision for the organization moving forward is to make a change in our baseball department leadership, end quote. The White Sox will begin a search for a single decision maker. I guess I can emphasize all three of those words, to lead the baseball operations department and anticipate having an individual in place by the end of the season. Dun, dun, dun. We'll get to those names later, and who I definitely don't think that name will be later. But why don't you read what Ken Williams told Chicago after being in, charge for 25 plus years?
I'm going to try to keep character this whole time, but it's going to be hard.
I want thumbs ups. If Herb does a good job doing his Kenny, I need all of the thumbs up. We're also going to be take-a-thoning later, so make sure you're getting as many thumbs up on the show as possible. I think we got 93 watchers currently, so if you get us up to 50 likes, we are going to have 5 tankathon spins, right? So we're going to reward you for the likes, folks.
For every 10th like, we got another tankathon spin.
And make sure you're subscribing to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. Steven, I don't know if you have the live count, but we are closing in on 35,000 subscribers.
I do. We are one away.
One away.
You can
subscribe right now.
You can be the 35,000th subscriber.
For Frank Thomas.
We just got it. There it is.
Boom. Boom.
35,000.
You're amazing.
Awesome, guys. I really appreciate that. Now let me get into Kenny Williams' voice.
Here's CHGO White Sox leader.
I'm not really a statement kind of guy. I had no intention of releasing one. That said, the volume of messages I received in the wake of the news compels me to say something. First, I never knew so many people had my number. I want to take time to thank the White Sox fans who went out of their way throughout the years to support and encouragement. Often, this would happen on the street or in a restaurant or in my morning walks, and it always surprised me. It would come at times when I least expected or even deserved it, but definitely when I needed it, and I was grateful that they would take the time. I thank Jerry Reinsdorf for the opportunity he gave me to head baseball operations. I will forever be proud of the World Series championship we celebrated together. At my inaugural presser, I spoke of winning multiple championships. Ooh, that was my goal. Our goal, and we failed. I am a bottom line guy, and the bottom line is that we didn't get it done. This is what happens as a result. There's a lot of talent on this club. I wish the players, Pedro, and the coaching staff the best in reaching their goals. I believe they will rebound and give the baseball world a great 2024 campaign. Wow. It's funny. Man's got jokes. To my former and other Sox employees throughout the years, I will forever value our beyond work relationships and will miss everyone dearly. I will never forget turning around at my father's funeral and seeing all those who had flown across the country to support me and my family and took my breath away. Their support throughout the years has been and always will be. What does that say?
Forever treasured?
Treasured. I got the second one. Jesus Christ, Kenny. Long-winded.
Yeah, he's long-winded.
Long-winded Kenny, LWBC.
You still got 4 more paragraphs.
Oh, my God. To my former players and staff who have reached out to me since the announcement, I can tell you that how much those texts and sentiments mean to me. I know that not everyone has a warm and fuzzy feelings about me, but I tried to be honest and fair with everyone at every turn. At times, admittedly, and maybe a little too direct. Stay out of White Sox business. Sometimes I hit the mark, and sometimes I missed the mark on my messaging. But there wasn't a player who walked through those doors that I didn't care about or wish the best in his baseball career and family life. Rick Hahn, my friend. We didn't accomplish what we set out to do, but I wouldn't have wanted to do it with anyone other than him. He is one of the smartest people I know, and I am confident, if given the chance, I will see him reach the pinnacle of success. We managed to always find a laugh, even in the darkest times, and I will always cherish our time together. Lastly, Jerry, I lived our World Series victory through his eyes and emotions. We shared many of our life's triumphs and tragedies. As I told him when we were given the news of his decision, nothing changes for us, with us. I will be there for him, and I will always have been, and respect his decision to look for a new voice to lead the organization. He deserved better. A big thanks to Chicago. You have been good to us. Zoraida and I will miss you dearly.
Kenny Williams Jr. is still employed by the White Sox, too. So
Oh, yeah.
they didn't fire Kenny Williams Jr., just Ken and Rick Hahn. So.
And his buddy, too. First base coach Debo.
Oh, Debo. Well, hey, Debo's.
You can fire that sumbitch.
I think Debo
now.
actually has a percentage in this team as well. I think when Jerry originally endorsed or invested in 1981, I think Debo was also invested.
Like, it should have been like Kenny, Rick, and Daryl Boston. Immediately gone.
I agree. I mean,
But-
they could have fired everybody. I wouldn't have cared. I mean, just clean house.
And again,
we'll get to it.
I want people to know, I don't want these men to feel like we're dancing on their graves, but they deserve to get fired. 100% they deserve this day to happen. That's why White Sox fans are rejoicing. Not because the people are getting fired, because the employees who sucked at their jobs are getting fired finally after sucking at their jobs for years on end.
First off, I love the reading of Kenny.
Thank you.
That was great. That was the first time I actually read the statement in full, so I was glad I had you reading it to me. Mm-hmm. Rick Hahn, my friend, I'm going to say that for the rest of my life.
And me too. I got the clip that Rick Hahn's my guy.
Rick Hahn's your guy.
Is my guy.
Forever. It felt like a commencement speech.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I never understood Ken. But let's go to Rick Hahn, and then we'll.
Are you going to put the in between there?
I could try.
All right.
I will be forever. Oh, no, I can't do that.
Okay.
I will forever be indebted to Jerry Reinsdorf and Kenny Williams. See, he calls him Kenny.
It is weird.
One
Everybody
calls him Ken, one calls him Kenny.
When
We
did
know
it
him as
change to Ken? It's always been Kenny.
I don't know. I will be forever indebted to Jerry Reinsdorf and Kenny Williams for giving me the opportunity almost 23 years ago to realize my dream of working for a major league team. Their faith, support, and mentoring allowed me to grow both as an executive and a person while with the White Sox, and I look forward to our continued friendship for many years to come. Additionally, I cannot thank enough the gifted coaches, scouts, analysts, sports performance professionals, and front office staff for their tireless work and dedication to the club. Because of them, I firmly believe that many vital ingredients of a championship team are in that clubhouse and within the minor league system. Glances at Chris Getz. I am truly humbled by the many friends, colleagues, and members of the extended baseball family who have taken the time to offer their kind words, support, and humor. I promise to get back to each of you individually at some point soon. Shut the fuck up. And look forward to working with many of you again in the future. In the meantime, I will be rooting for the Sox to win that next championship soon, as loyal White Sox fans deserve nothing less. Best, Rick Hahn. Again, we said this yesterday that, again, this is still someone losing a job.
Yes.
Rick Hahn's been employed by this place for 23 years. Kenny Williams has been, Kenny Williams Jr. too, have been employed for 25 plus years.
Yep.
This is not a sad thing. These are people who had opportunity after opportunity, chance after chance to prove themselves. And they did a fantastic job in 2005. And the rope got extended and extended and extended. Kenny Williams is not going to be homeless tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Rick Hahn's not going to be homeless tomorrow. Both of these are educated men. Both of these are men with long-term professions in baseball. And hell, Kenny's probably in a spot where he can just retire.
Yeah.
I mean, Rick is probably in a spot where he can just retire. Like, Rick Hahn isn't that old, he isn't that young, but if you think if he was a lawyer in a previous life and was a high-ranking executive for a Major League Baseball team that makes billions of dollars, he's probably well off. So, maybe he'll have consulting jobs here or there or something, but this is nothing that is sad. You're not going to see Rick panhandling out on, a 994 exit. This is something that needed to happen. And like I said earlier, I was shocked that it happened. And why don't we take everybody through the actual moments of being shocked?
Yes.
Because I don't really want to get into this Rick statement. Like, in the meantime, I'll be rooting for the Sox to win that next championship soon, as loyal White Sox fans deserve nothing less. Even though this man, when they were filming White Sox Talk back pre-pandemic at Reggie's, he was like, "Oh, well, White Sox fans want to see this fail." No, they just didn't trust you. And you still, this year, said you needed to win the fans' trust back. Herb, have they gained your trust back?
No. They didn't try to gain the trust back. Like, I was thinking, like, when they said that statement in the offseason to begin last year, I was thinking, okay, they're going to go out and sign a bunch of players to make this team good, maybe return Sox Fest, et cetera, et cetera. They didn't do a damn thing. They got a terrible person in Mike Clevenger to come to the team, and then they got Andrew Benintendi to come to the team. That's it. And then Elvis Andrus eventually came in spring training. That was how you're trying to win us back? And then the team sucked? And then you're just having these terrible press conferences where you're still smug, 27 games below 500, still talking shit. Yeah, you deserve to get fired, brother. You've been deserving to get fired for years on end. And I think I used to call him Teflon Rick. And I missed the opportunity because it was right there. It was a layup. It was an alley-oop from the gods. And my guy, B-Flow from the 108, dunked it in. He said, "It's Teflon Hahn. It's right there. Teflon Hahn." And so I said today that Jerry took off Rick's Teflon suit finally, and he finally got some accountability at 35th and Shields for both him and Kenny Williams. They both deserve to get fired. Neither of the two were good at their jobs. Rick Hahn had 2 good seasons. One was in the shortened 60-game season in 2020, and the year after that, 2021, where they won 93 games, I believe it was.
And spent $200 million on a baseball
Other than that, he was under 500 the whole time. And Kelsey McShane has it, and I posted up on my Twitter also. It's 749 and 893 in his 11 years. It was really 10 plus years because of the shortened season. So he had 10 plus years of being the White Sox general manager, and he got to have that long of a rope.
And that's a win percentage of 46%?
Yeah, no one else would have that. Before he got fired, I think it was only like Mozeliak and Brian Cashman that had a longer tenured stay with their team. And those two dudes had won championships.
Billy Bean?
I don't know. Is he still with the Oakland?
Isn't he?
Yeah, okay, then Billy Bean too. So 3 guys. And that's it. Amazing. And those guys had skins on the wall. Rick didn't have a skin in the wall as the general manager. So it was about time. It was way past time. And I didn't think it was going to happen today or any time during the season. Hell, I didn't think they were going to get fired in the offseason because this is the White Sox organization. They let him have that badass record for that many years because this organization is just a crap organization. Now, they can fix a lot what's gone wrong by having an actual person in there who's doing baseball ops that knows what they're doing. But we know Jerry Reinsdorf is not interested in that type of thing. I'll be shocked if he hires an actual good baseball person to head up this baseball organization.
Yeah, and we're going to take a break, and we're going to talk about the biggest questions remaining. So if you do have any questions, throw them in the chat. Steven's going to wrangle them all up. We're going to ask that big question, who's next? We're basically going to be Bill Goldberg. I don't know, were you watching WWE in like 2002?
Yeah, with the spear?
Yeah, right. And he was screaming like, "Who's next?" Okay. That's us.
Goldberg.
All right.
What was the little person that they had as Goldberg?
Gilbert.
Yes.
That
that was funny.
He wasn't little. He was just thin.
Okay.
He was very gaunt. He was a gaunt gentleman. And thank you to Drake for giving the Rick impression a shout out. Your Kenny's a pretty impressive. I got 7.5 out of 10. 300 White Sox podcasts, and we do have the best White Sox impersonations of two guys who are now fired.
Yeah, Alec asks, thank you. 7.5, I'll take it, brother.
Nice. 7.5 out of 10. That's not bad. You know, I mean, that's a lot better than Rick Hahn's winning percentage.
That's like my grades at Wheaton North. See?
Go Falcons. Can you scroll up just a little bit? Matt had a one comment about Billy Beane. Pretty sure Beane has a job with MLB now. Please, if someone can find this, let me know. Wikipedia says that he is the executive vice president of baseball operations and minority owner of the Oakland A's. Had no clue that he was a minority owner. Probably a pretty easy minority.
Doesn't look like a minority.
No, I don't. Well, I think he's a white channel.
Yeah.
He's also the minority owner of Barnsley of the EFL League One and AZ Alkmaar in the Eredivisie in the Netherlands. So I didn't know Billy Beane's portfolio was diverse like that.
He likes losing everywhere.
He does like LK Asmar or AK Asmar or whatever the hell they are. They're pretty decent.
Oh,
they're a decent Dutch football club. Anyways. I did see Baseball Toss. He had that video of Robert behind the Robert Cubs homer bat toss.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw that from the crowd shot.
Oh, did he?
That was his video. So he's trying to get the clout. So I'll give him the clout because I did see that. And I was like, oh, he's usually in our comments. All right, let's take a quick break. Want to let you know about our new friends over at Ray Auto. We are very excited for this. I just want to make sure there's 2 Rays. I got it. Okay. What's up, Steven?
I also have two graphics for this. I don't know which one it is.
It's make this the summer. Yeah, you got this. I think
it's
you're
the
perfect.
other one, I think.
I don't think so, buddy.
Make this the summer
No,
event
it's
right there.
So, love that we're doing this live. I'm reading the one for Chevy. So let's do the one for
this
Chevy.
one. All right.
Are you in the market for a new or used vehicle?
Always.
If you are,
yes,
then we have some great news for you. Because Ray Chevy in Fox Lake has just joined the CHGO team. Adam Hogue just head up there and got a new vehicle from our friends over at Ray. And we are talking, and when we were talking to the team at Ray and Adam was up there, they have this pledge called the Ray Price Promise. It's a guarantee that the price you see online is the price you pay when you go into the dealership. They found that in many cases with other dealers, they'll raise the price when you come into the dealership, saying things that, are you a recent grad, Herb?
I am not.
Are you active in the military?
No.
I don't think you're a farmer.
No.
All right. And in the price online included limited rebates, like for people active in the military, for recent college grads, for farmers, that people like Herb and myself do not qualify. At Ray Auto, that is not the case. The price you see online is the price you pay with no add-ons to the price ever. In fact, Ray will do everything impossible to find additional savings for you, which make the price lower than you see online. As one of the top-selling dealers in the Midwest, you'll always be able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest inventories and save big at Ray Chevy because they now have over 100 Chevy Trax models available starting at $21,495. Now, through August 31st, all buyers can qualify for 0% financing, make 0 payments until 2024, plus put no money down. And best of all, pay 0 hidden fees with the Ray Price Promise. Visit Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or raychevrolet.com. Serving the community since 1963. Find new roads with our friends over at Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake. And again, visit them at raychevrolet.com. Be fancy about it.
Mm-hmm.
Ray Chevrolet.
I get to meet them the other day. It was good to see them with our salesperson, Sarah Cooley, at the Cubs game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When we were doing the little crosstown
Great
thing.
folks.
Very nice. And also want to let you know about our friends over at Hooters. Talking about Crosstown, they sponsored our Crosstown Classic coverage over the past couple months. But Hooters is still your spot to catch all the games this season. Step up to their plate for world-famous wings, delicious seafood, stacked sandwiches, salads, and more. They have tons of great beer specials and $6 drinks all day, every day. And you can check out our seafood specials, their seafood specials. They have a pound of crab legs for $19.83, and great prices on buffalo and steamed shrimp. And Hooters is celebrating 40 years in business all year long. In honor of the anniversary, on the 4th of every month, Hooters will be hosting throwback events, bringing the 80s back with 83-cent wings and other great specials. The next one is on September 4th, so check out original Hooters draftkings.com for more info. They have 11 Chicagoland locations. All right. Now, let's chat, Herb. You got your questions?
I do.
Steven, you pull up a decent amount of questions here?
I got one.
You got one?
I got one.
Okay, all right.
People ask us questions.
You keep asking us questions. But yeah, all right, we'll go to here first, I guess. We did the Goldberg thing of who's next, and Matt replaced. I'll do my best. I believe that's Dutch. I think that's a Dutch last name.
I'm going to go with Austrian.
Austrian, okay.
Luxembourgian.
Matt, please comment on the origin of your last name. How about James Click, formerly of the Rays and Astros, David Stearns of the Brewers? There are four names that I have pulled up so far. One of them, David Stearns, former baseball president of president of baseball operations for the Milwaukee Brewers, and he currently holds an advisory role with the team. Was also the previous assistant general manager of the Astros, worked for the office of the commissioner of baseball, the Arizona Fall League, and in the baseball operations department of the Cleveland Guardians and New York Mets. James Click is currently with the Toronto organization. He's currently the VP of the Toronto Blue Jays, but he was, as Matt said, previously served in the Tampa organization for 15 years before being hired by the Astros as their general manager in 2020. But he got the boot after the owner did not like him. Jim Crane, right? The owner of the Astros?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jim Crane didn't like James Click, and he got the boot.
You see who's in the house?
No, who's in the house?
Our guy Chris Tannehill from 670 to score. Yeah.
Where is he?
Right
Our
there.
guy? Oh, there he is. I saw his. You scroll
There
past
it
him.
is.
83. Thank you.
Rick Dalton points.
It's always good to see Tanny.
And for placed, whatever, Belgian.
Belgian. Okay. I think that you said Luxembourg.
Borgian?
I think Luxembourg is in Belgium.
No, it's its own country.
Is it?
Its own sovereign country. Small. That and Liechtenstein. Both small countries.
The other two names that I've been able to gather, and I don't know how real these are, but one of these stems from an athletic piece featuring Steve Sanders.
The former WGN anchorman?
No. Different guy. This guy works for the Blue Jays. He's the director of amateur scouting for the Blue Jays. I don't know. I'm just trying to gather whatever information I can. And then also one other name that popped out was Bill Gasparino. So there you go. I don't know if any of these are real, but I mean, those are the four that outside the organization that aren't named Jeremy Haber and Chris Getz, I would say are names.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, this happened today.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm in who's next stage, but I wouldn't be opposed to any new blood in whatever form it came. And I think we saw that with how excited we were for Pedro. And it just kind of took one or two spring trainings or weeks of spring training to kind of break that glass ceiling and kind of see that, you know, he was just more of the same. So I would like to see something new and a lot of fresh blood here.
Yeah, and those names are good, and I've heard of David Stearns. I think he did a decent job with the Milwaukee Brewers, and, of course, the Click guy who got fired after winning the World Series. But I've set my sights on one person. I said this person before Rick and Kenny got fired. Kim Ng, who is down there as a Miami Marlins general manager, has experience with this White Sox club and Jerry Reinsdorf specifically. She was on the team as a I think she was like a executive. First, she started as an intern as she went to the University of Chicago, and she was with the team from 1990 until 1996. So she has experience with Jerry Reinsdorf, understands how he operates. She's general manager now. If she gets this job, she would have to be elevated to where Kenny was. So executive VP of baseball operations. And I think if you get that type of bump, maybe you think about coming back home to Chicago, even though Chicago's not her necessary home, but she did go to college here.
Yeah, I mean, again, it does seem early. I'm not against Kim Ng, but it does seem like, again, it wouldn't just be general manager, but as long as it's a sole voice, that's what it seems like that statement from the White Sox is in search for this next person to join them at the end of the season.
Yeah, she was the assistant director of baseball operations under then GM Ron Shula.
All right, let's go out to Guaranteed Rate Field, where we're going to welcome in our pal, our friend, Vinnie Duber, our CHGO White Sox beat writer. You can follow him at Vinnie Duber, and you can read his brand new piece at allchgo.com talking about, well, what else? Rick Hahn and Kenny Williams being let go and relieved of their duties as executive vice president and general manager. Vinny, we have read the statements from Kenny and Rick. Anything you would like to add from maybe those statements? Anything that interest you, because that wasn't included in your piece originally?
I mean, not really. I think that Kenny's was appropriate given the amount of time that he's been with this organization. For him to kind of go deep on some of his thoughts, I think made a lot of sense. And listen, I say this often, and I always mean it. For folks on the outside, for fans, for even some of us, sometimes it's easy to kind of think that these guys are all characters in your favorite show, and you want them, you want the writers to do something with them to make it a little more entertaining or something like that. But Herb, as you pointed out on our emergency show, and I'm sure have said, before I jumped on here, because you've been really good about this, these are real people, and these are two people who cared about the White Sox just as much, if not more, than any fan. So this is a tough day for those two guys. Just think about the decades that of White Sox tenure that went out the door today, and a lot of fan reaction, given the frustration over the quality of the team the last 2 years, is probably going to be good riddance. But these are guys who dedicated their lives, the better part of their lives at this point, to this organization and to this team. So however you might feel about the on-field product and the direction of the franchise going forward, just take a moment to realize that these were two guys who obviously cared a lot about what was going on here at 35th and Shields.
And Vinny, after the game, how were the emotions from Pedro and any of the players that happened to speak about the two guys who had got dismissed today?
Yeah, we talked to a few players in the clubhouse. None of them had very much to say, but kind of all sharing the same emotion of, shock and continued disappointment. I mean, this is obviously the result of what happens when things go so wrong on the field. And that is Pedro and the coaching staff and the players' purview is winning baseball games every night. They didn't win very many of them. And, certainly the expectations that they had in the preseason, as Andrew Vaughn said, was to win a lot. And that hasn't happened. And so, when you look at it kind of coldly, and like we keep talking about, as Rick Hahn always said, the nature of pro sports, right? This is what happens when you lose games like this. Well, this is what happens when those guys failed. Those guys in that clubhouse failed to win games. And so now Rick and Kenny are certainly two of, if not the first two of the people who have paid the price with their jobs for what these players weren't able to do enough on a regular basis.
I think the direction we're just kind of going with this podcast is what's next, what's the biggest questions that are looming now for the White Sox organization. If you want to lead it off, Vinny, feel free. I think the biggest question that we had in our emergency podcast was just who is leading the charge. So maybe I should just do a better job of just leading this topic. Who's leading the charge? Do we think it's going to be Jerry Reinsdorf actually doing the hiring, or we've seen in Chicago sports before with the Bears that they have gone out and hired consultants for their next general manager? We've seen Ernie Accorsi come in to hire Ryan Poles.
Ryan Pace.
Ryan Pace. They both are RP. Ryan Pace. We saw Bill Polian be hired to bring in Ryan Poles. Do we see, a sort of consultant type base? Vinny, what do you expect from the charge to find this single voice by the end of the season?
Well, I'll set up, I don't know if I'm going to answer that question, but I will kind of probably answer all the ones that you have loaded, because they're the same ones that I have, with the same answer, which is, I don't know. It's hard to say what the answer is because Jerry Reinsdorf isn't expected to speak on this. That to me is very surprising. Maybe not surprising knowing how often Jerry has spoken to the media in my time covering this team, but surprising given the circumstances of, as I mentioned before, two guys with decades, plural, of experience in their roles working directly under Jerry. A guy in Kenny Williams who Jerry literally said in the statement today he considers, a son. He's part of his family. And we're not getting a reaction and explanation as to why this happened today or why it happened at all. We can look on the field and look at the standings and know why it happened, but we should be able to ask the guy who made the decision why it happened. And also the reasoning for the timing of this, but then all the what's next stuff, right? I mean, I compare it to the managerial searches that the White Sox have had in recent years, in which Rick Hahn stood up at the end of the season and said, we are looking for X, Y, Z. We are looking for someone who fits these criteria. They didn't always find people who met those criteria, as we well know from the Tony La Russa hire that kind of went in far different direction than anybody was expecting. But we at least could assess any suggested names based on those criteria that Rick had laid out. Right now, we're not expecting to hear Jerry Reinsdorf talk about any criteria or parameters for this search that is coming up. So when you throw out a name, Herb, you're talking about Kim Ng. People on Twitter want them to go get Theo Epstein, however unrealistic that might be. When you're talking about the guys who are in-house here, right? Whether it's Chris Getz, who's been mentioned, or other people who are in the front office currently, we don't know. We have no idea what Jerry is looking for in this person, other than he wants a single voice and he wants them to be different than the two people who just oversaw this team dropping to 28 games under 500. We heard in the last managerial search, Rick Hahn talk about, quote, White Sox DNA and wanting to get away from that, right? Wanting to go outside and get different perspectives. Does Jerry want that? Jerry obviously has a history of hiring people that do fall into that category, but now that he's made this decision with Rick and Kenny, does he want to go in that different direction, or does he want to stick with it because that's kind of the trusted voice that he knows the best? So the answer is we have no idea. And I think that people are going to make their top 12 or top 10 or whatever wish lists for people that the White Sox should go hire. We can't really judge how realistic any of those names will be because Jerry is staying quiet.
And the question I have, and I know it's probably going to be I don't know, because it is very vague what Jerry is expecting. But in the release that he gave firing Kenny and Rick, it says rebuild in the release. Jerry's 87. Does he really want to live through another rebuild? And is it that his charge for finding a new general manager to be looking to rebuild the team instead of competing in 2024, which Rick was looking to do?
Well, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think that, you've got that in mind. You've got the whole, does the new person think that this roster is a roster that they can make contend in 2024? Or do they come in and go, no, this needs to be done over. We need to do this and it's going to take time. Does the new person like Pedro Grifol sitting in the dugout in that manager's chair? Or do they say, this is not the guy to get this done? Is it the whole bring in your own guy kind of thing? We will see. And I think probably the person who gets that job is when we're going to know the answer. Unless there's reporting done by these national voices who sometimes are able to get a better insight into what Jerry is thinking, because he's not talking to us. And I think that's preventative from answering any of these questions. But certainly let's talk about them because they are questions and they're worthy. I mean, if Jerry did get up in front of the microphones, that's what those questions would be. And that's what he would be expected to answer. What are you looking for? Do you want to make this team compete right away? Do you want to keep Pedro Grifol in the dugout? Do you want a White Sox person, or do you want somebody who has had success elsewhere? Or do you want to give this a person their next big shot? And you're confident in a young guy, something like that, so, or a young woman. So we don't know. And I think that's probably very disappointing to White Sox fans, that Jerry isn't going to come out and give any kind of indication as of what he wants. We're going to find out we're going to find out soon enough, because the release said they want this person to be in place by the end of the season, which is in 5.5 weeks.
Didn't Pedro say go ask Jerry about, Jake Berger batting eighth? We can't ask him about the next general manager?
Well, we can't ask Pedro?
No, we can't ask Jerry. Pedro said when Jake Berger was batting eighth, go ask Jerry. So, I mean, we were asking Jerry about something as menial as, Jake Berger batting. It was just a joke. Anyways, I would like to just do one thing. I know we have a lot of I don't knows, and there's probably more questions we'll ask in this podcast. But the name was brought up, and I know it's you mentioning the name that Twitter is bringing up. We need to stop with the Theo Epstein thing already.
Yes.
It's not going to happen. At the end of the day, this man went to two of the most historic, if not, top three historic outside of the Yankees, franchise in Major League Baseball, ended droughts of 80-plus years. I don't know the exact.
I think 86.
86 years for the Red Sox, then won another one 3 years later, and broke the 108-year curse on the north side. This man is likely already in the Hall of Fame. This man is chilling somewhere on a beach. This man is a part of the commissioner's office. And something I learned today, he's a part of Team Arctos, which he's on the board of Team Arctos, which is a sports private equity fund, which is trying to get into sports ownership and trying to change sports ownership. So if anything, you're looking at the next Bud Selig and not the next Rick Hahn in Theo Epstein. So I would like to just, I understand we would love to see Theo Epstein as the White Sox next baseball czar or whatever, but that is just not going to happen in any realistic world.
And also, just imagine if Theo had interest in coming back to a Major League Baseball team, and the White Sox specifically. What in Jerry Reinsdorf's history do you see him opening up the checkbook for a guy like Theo Epstein? It's never happened. Like, he likes to keep the cost down, and to get Theo Epstein would cost a prohibitive number that he would probably not be jiving with. So, yeah, let's stop the nonsense. I'm seeing some real people saying this stuff too. Like,
yes,
come on, people.
A Bernstein Hall?
I mean, come on now.
No.
You're just riling up the masses.
Sylvie was doing this back in July when, things were going bad, and he was saying, call Theo. Like, let's have a bigger sports brain than this. We can think more critically than Theo Epstein because he was here in Chicago and last won a World Series. Like, is that the furthest our brain works?
Yep.
Like, I mean, can we not do any more research besides this? I understand that maybe there would be this very slim shot that Jerry Reinsdorf would sell and Theo Epstein would be a part of that ownership group, but I am not counting any eggs, hatch, I don't know. That's
count your eggs before they hatch.
Something like
chickens.
That.
You don't count chickens before they hatch.
Oh,
chickens.
There you go.
So we're not counting chickens today. And I don't think Theo Epstein's going to be down in black and white.
Well, it's just, it's just laziness from folks around. I mean, it's basically the only thing that would be more lazy if they said Mike Ditka should be the new GM of the Sox.
Hey, where's Ozzy? Can Ozzy be the GM? I'm not a big fan of that. I think that if the White Sox have something, the chance to do something truly great, they have the chance to change their bad organization. Again, we've mentioned this and hammered it home yesterday, and I hammered it home earlier on the emergency pod. In the last 10 seasons, they've had 4 of their worst seasons in 123 years. This is not acceptable. You need to change this. You need to gut this. And I know that there were people that lost jobs today, but like I said, these men nearly had tenure with the White Sox. Like, I think that they'll be fine. Like, they might be heartbroken. They might be saddened today by what they weren't able to achieve, but hey, they still got something that a lot of people don't get, and that's a World Series ring. I mean, the Rockies would be killing for that. The Padres would be killing for that. So, I mean, at least pat yourself on the back for that, Rick and Kenny, because you at least did that.
My guy Tadahito asked about Mike Rizzo. Good name because the Washington Nationals are fledgling right now, but the only problem with Mike Rizzo is that he's already the president and baseball operations guy out there in the Washington, so you can't really hire him unless the Washington Nationals fire him or they work out a deal. So,
and
prohibitive.
They just extended Davey Martinez, and they're reportedly close to a deal with Rizzo to extend his deal.
I mean, I
seems
would,
like he'll stay.
that's a good name, but yeah, he's got a job that is already probably the same level as the level that he would be hired for here.
Me, Daryl from The Office, I guess Craig Robinson, people know that. People know him, the guy from the pizza commercials.
Yeah,
Mike Rizzo and Colleen are the foremost notable SXU alumni.
No, Steven's taking Craig Robinson
He's
from
an
him.
ISU guy.
He's a Masters guy, so I mean it's really loose. I mean, anyways, let's take a quick break, and then we'll jump back into more of these questions, and then we'll wrap up the conversation. We are close to 70 likes, so I guess we're taking 70 spins on the Tankathon. 7 spins on the Tankathon. Yeah. Vinny, we'll let you go before that, so you don't have to stick around.
Thank God.
We got on the first one last time, Vinny.
Oh.
Hey, I'm glad you guys did it without
We're going to
me.
do that every day? There's a month and a half left.
They fired everybody today.
So you're going to dedicate time to the silly
at the end of the show
random number generator?
Did you see what happened with the Blackhawks?
They willed it to happen.
To draft.
You got to put in the atmosphere, then it happens.
Right. I don't know.
What are you going to do with that?
Then we get Vance Honeycutt.
Cool.
A guy that everybody has heard of before.
We get Matt Holliday's other kid. That's a kid. That's a top prospect in 2024.
Is it?
It's just Holiday too.
Okay.
The Hawks did it because they had Hockey Jesus at the other end of the line, and you want to do it so you can just go pick up a lottery ticket.
No, this is baseball Kane. Jackson Holiday is Abel, and then his brother is Kane.
So which one's going to kill the other one?
Hopefully the one that's not. Hopefully the dead one's not on the White Sox. Anyways,
okay.
This got to a dark place. Want to let you know about our friends over at Goose Island. Herb's drinking a delicious 312. CHGO is supported by Goose Island Beer Company. It's Chicago's beer since 1988, and their beer roster includes that lovely 312 Wheat Ale, the Goose IPA, which was a 6-time Medal Award winner at the Great American Beer Fest. You can also try their lovely sample pack of the tropical or the Beer Hug IPA series. They got the tropical Beer Hug, which is a dry hop imperial IPA at 9.9% alcohol. That's dangerously easy to drink. Mm-hmm. They also got the hazy, they got the neon, and they got the juicy. So go check that out at your local beer vendor.
Liquor store.
And they also got the full pocket pills. It's an everyday beer that the brewers are drinking over at the original brew house on Clybourne Avenue in Lincoln Park, or from their tap room on Fulton Street in Westtown. So Jeff Jenkins, yes. The Brewers.
That's awesome.
Grab an ultra fresh brewery exclusive beer.
Jeremy Burnett.
And Sheets, baby.
Chad Moeller.
Oh, we got to stop.
All the Brewers are over there drinking 312.
Ricky
Lyle
Weeks.
Overbay.
Oh. Corey Hart in his sunglasses.
Junior Spivey.
All right.
Junior Spivey.
Casey McGehee.
Who was the Bernie Mac's character? Wasn't he a brewer?
Yeah, he was.
Stan, whatever
Fred
his name?
Ross. Stan Ross.
Stan Ross. Yeah.
Mr.
Stan
3000.
Ross. And his teammate T-Rex Pennybacker.
I got to rewatch that movie. Grab an ultra fresh brewery exclusive beer at Goose Island's original brew house on Clybourne Avenue in Lincoln Park, or from their tap room on Fulton Street in Westtown. Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago's beer. Also want to let you know about our friends over at Shady Rays. Take on the sun with gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered for the warm weather that is about to be hitting Chicago over the next 2 days. Those bright 90-degree waves will be shining down on you, but you could take them on with premium polarized shades at an affordable price. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair we've worn. They have durable frames and extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures. And that's not all. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection program in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses backed by lost and broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair. No questions asked. You can wear your Shady Rays with confidence because they have your back long after your purchase. If you don't love your Shady Rays you can exchange them for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. Again, there's no risk when you shop with Shady Rays because their team always has your back. And exclusively for our listeners, that's you. Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code CHGO for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized shades. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. Finally, it's coming up. Herb got us Polo. It is near time for for the CHGO Kickoff Classic at Cog Hill on August 25th. We got a shotgun start at 9 a.m. When you buy tickets at allchgo.com, you get 18 holes with a cart, an exclusive CHGO Pins and Aces golf towel for all players. There'll be hole contests, giveaways, and prizes, lunch, drinks, and ceremonies after the round. And if you aren't a CHGO diehard yet, head over to allchgo.com. We got, 35,000 diehards, I guess, now at this point, if we got 35,000 subscribers. Not really. There are less diehards than that. But you could join the ever-growing community today. And when you do sign up, you get a free shirt when you become a member.
Not this one.
Not that one. You get premium written content for members at allchgo.com. You get 20% off events like our CHGO Kickoff Classic. And you get access to our members-only Discord, the CHGO Lounge. And again, if you are coming out to the CHGO Kickoff Classic, are we selling these?
We are.
We're selling these. Okay, we're selling the CHGO Pins and Aces polos. Herb picked up one today. I saw him put it on. It looks real nice on him. I think this is Steven's, so it's a little bit smaller.
Yeah, this is not my shirt. I can wear this on my arm.
Well, you could try.
That's it.
But they all look fresh and clean, and you guys are going to look so fresh and so clean.
And nice and breathable, too.
At the Kickoff Classic on Friday. I'll be in Vegas, so good luck.
Viva.
Huh?
Viva
Las Vegas. All right, final
awesome feel to it.
Things here. Did you end up watching the documentary, Vinnie?
No. They announced
Podcast.
this. This announcement came literally as I sat down in the conference room to watch it.
So I don't think we explained that well enough.
Yeah.
Because Herb showed up. You were very nice. You hooked Herb up with a media credential to go see this documentary that they're now putting on because of the 50th birthday. Is it birthday or anniversary of hip hop?
50th anniversary of hip hop.
Due to the 50th anniversary of hip hop and the connection that the Sox Old English logo has with hip hop, from Ice Cube to Chance the Rapper, etc.
Vic Mensa.
But you didn't get to see it.
I didn't. Literally,
Neither did Vinny.
in the parking lot at Guaranteed Rate Field, get a text thread from my people from former Score people, Lawrence Holmes, Tony Gill, and Rick Camp to, hey, did you guys see this? And I looked at it. I was like, nah, that ain't true. And I looked at it. It's like, oh, my God, the White Sox, it's on White Sox letterhead. And they said they fired all the people. And so I just texted Vinny literally right before I turned to drive away. I was like, hey, this news, I'm not coming in, brother. He's like, understood that. He's like, I just sat down for this thing, too. And I saw the news, and I got up from my seat. So, yeah, shout out to Shakia Taylor, who hosted that. And I'm sorry I missed it because I'm looking forward to it. It was a good one. It's called Fitted in Black. I think it's coming out on NBC Sports Chicago on Thursday as a documentary. It's very, very compelling because as a person who joined the White Sox or joined the fandom and right there in 1990 when they pretty much introduced it, that was part of me joining the fandom, how cool it was. NWA's wearing it. You got other people wearing it like Jodeci, R&B group. And so I'm like, I want to be cool and hip, and that team's in my town, baby. But, yeah, that news just blew everything out of the water. Like, I was like, we got to go back and do an emergency podcast. Literally what I was thinking when that happened, everybody here in the CHGO White Sox were thinking on the same parallel because this is incredible news that we did not expect to happen, not in season, and I didn't expect it to happen in the off season either. So I just am still at this point shocked that it still happened. It's ridiculous.
It is,
but also well deserved.
Yes. I guess, is there anything else that lingers from this? I know there's a lot that we just don't know. Are there any other questions that you want to throw out there into the ether? Same with you, Vinny. I guess it's just like my biggest thing that I was kind of trying to nail home on the emergency podcast was how far is Jerry himself willing to push? Like you mentioned, can you go through another rebuild? Can you go through changing your organization top to bottom to make it a modern MLB organization rather than where you have been in 2006 for the past, 15 plus years. So I would like to see push. I would like to see drive. And again, I don't know how we maybe this is me being ageist. I don't know how we can see that from an 87-year-old. And we've seen quotes this year that, he says that you're as smart as your dumbest competition or something like that. I'm misquoting him there. But also the quote from Cigar Aficionado back in 1995 was, Jerry wants to win a World Series his way and his vision and his financial vision. I guess he's done that in 2005. I'm not sure if that's, kind of gave him enough, I don't know, salivated enough. I don't know what the hell I'm trying to say. That gave him that taste enough where he can actually now just do it in a normal modern baseball way, or if he still has to do it Jerry's way.
I hope that Jerry cast a wide enough net to a wide enough pool, and when he does talk to the people who are qualified, and I see names up here, people putting up general managers, candidates that have never been general managers. That's number one. I want him to be interviewing for general managers and baseball ops people who have actually done the job previously. There's not a learn on the job type of thing right now for this team. I want him to see if he will not limit himself or the persons who are interviewing for this job on doing whatever they want to do with the baseball organization. Give them complete autonomy of the baseball ops. Of course, Jerry will handle the pocketbook, but otherwise, that person gets to do what they need to do. So he Jerry Reinsdorf, doesn't limit the candidates he can pull from by saying, you are the guy, but I'm going to be, time to time picking our manager and usurping your power like I did with Rick Hahn and Kenny Williams that one time. I want him to get out of his own self, put his ego aside, and say, do I want to win baseball games? Do I want to win another World Series? Cool. Let my baseball ops person do what they need to be doing because I hired him for a reason. And I hope he has that mindset because to fire these two guys, very loyal lieutenants, I would think that you would want to get somebody opposite of them. People who are different from them, not the Chris Getzes of the world and the Jeremy Habers of the world, but people who've actually been general managers like the people we've talked about. And then when you hire them, go ahead and do your thing.
Yeah, I would just say that, Sean, in response to what you were talking about, this was supposed to be that modern day thing, right? This rebuild was supposed to be follow the Astros playbook, follow the Cubs playbook, get yourself a World Series by, focusing on this young group of players, even if it takes 2, 3, 4 years of losing to get to that point. Obviously, there were a lot of things that were different about what the White Sox tried to do than what those two championship teams did. But at the end of the day, that's what this was supposed to be, and it didn't work. Now, I don't think that's necessarily the fault of the plan as much as it was the fault of the execution, right? And the guys that they ended up putting in their trust in. Remember when they were handing out team-friendly deals to Moncada and Eloy and Luis Robert before those guys even played much Major League Baseball, it was being celebrated across the league as, oh, look what they've done. They've locked this in place. Look at these guys are going to power the future. And it hasn't happened yet. So you have to figure out what sort of vision. Jerry has to figure out what sort of vision he wants, but more importantly is probably the vision of the person he hires. And are they going to come in and say, we got to do this over again because that's the way that this gets done? Or are they going to say, yeah, we can take what we got here and try to supplement it? So, but a team that is 28 games below 500 would seem to need a whole lot of supplementing in order to get it to the top of the league and the championship caliber where they want it to be. So, you talk about what is he going to be looking for? It's the only question that matters right now, and he's not going to be answering it. It doesn't sound like, but we're going to get the eventual result of what that question is by the end of September.
Yeah, do you think it? I'll throw this out to the both of you because the answer is I don't know. Do you think we'll hear anything? Because there was no leaks of this.
Nope.
It was just they're fired. Is it just going to be someone's hired, like at the snap of fingers?
They do like to work in obscurity and secrecy, so I hope he does a little bit more of a open candidacy so we can know who's out there, who he's talking to, and not just the Chris Getzes of the worlds. And he's
How
talking
are you getting that, though, Herb?
Huh?
How are you going to get that?
Bob Nightingale can give us that.
Well, that's not open. That's just a guy reporting. You know what I mean? Like, it's not. You're not going to get that. You're not going to get, like, the red carpet rolled out for every candidate. Okay, come on down, candidate number 3.
With some of these people, you have to get permission to talk to them. That's the only thing that I would want him to talk to current general managers and see their interest in maybe coming to the White Sox, or assistant general managers like people in Tampa or people in LA or Houston Astros, things like that. I hope, like in football, like I got to get permission to talk to this guy. And we hear that from some type of a reporter in those cities.
Once you involve more parties, you probably get the chance of more leaks, if you want to call them that, happening. You know what I mean? When you've got not only Team A, but also Team B, and the agent for the person you're talking to, and the person you're talking to, you probably see a little bit more. So I don't think it's just going to be, I wouldn't imagine that it'll just be complete silence like this was. But hey, it's got to get done quick, right? I mean, like, this is not going to be a thing that's going to last till December. Like, the off season starts, and you need somebody in place to have an off season. So it's going to happen fast. So stay on your toes, boys. We're probably going to have another emergency one at some point here.
At some point. So make sure you are subscribing to our CHGO Sports YouTube channel. Make sure you are listening to this after the fact on the podcast platform as well. And you can read Vinnie's article up at allchgo.com. We're global. We're worldwide. We're everywhere. You can follow Vinnie at Vinnie Duber. He's our CHGO White Sox beat writer. That's Herb Lawrence. You can follow him at Ecknerwall23. He's our CHGO White Sox community leader. I'm Sean Anderson. You can follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. You can follow the show at CHGO_White Sox.
Don't we got to get rid of Vinnie?
We do have to get rid of Vinnie. Goodbye, Vinnie. It's been great chatting with you. Enjoy your ride home. Hopefully the I-90 treats you well.
Talk to you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Bye. So we got 84 likes. If you guys are still sticking around with us an hour after the fact, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. We'll give you 9 spins of the Tankathon. Connor Bedard is telling you to give you the thumbs up. We got 8, yeah, but if we get 6 more, we'll get to 9.
Will we get there? Will you guys help us out?
So, 87.
Wow, 87.
All right, so Steven, why don't you give us the first one? This is, and you can play the Tankathon too. Give them the video because we're stealing this from the CHGO Blackhawks. I don't know how it works. Oh, there.
Can we get Connor Bedard, please? Oh, we are up to 90.
And 90. So there we go. We'll give you 9 spins of the MLB draft lottery. We are trying to will Connor Bedard. We're trying to will one of the holidays to our team.
I'm telling you, I look at the MLB drafts. Vance Honeycutt from North Carolina, outfielder.
We already have. No, wait. That's Brent Honeywell.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
He doesn't pitch well.
No, he's not that good. Let's get into simming the lottery. Oakland leads the lottery, the 35 and 90 record. They have a 16.5% chance to get the number 1 overall pick. The Royals at 40 and 87 have 16.5 odds, or 16.5% chance to get the number 1 overall pick. I think these two teams are still playing against each other, so we'll see who wins that one. But Colorado lost, and the White Sox lost, so they're still even. So the Sox have a 13.2% chance. 2.5% chance of getting the number 1 overall pick.
We're going to spin until we get to the number 1 pick, or 9 spins. Whichever one comes first.
Go, Steven.
Big money, big money. Stop.
Mets get the number 1 overall pick.
That's crap.
How much did they jump? 8 spots?
Ugh.
2.7% chance.
They don't deserve that.
Ugh. All right, Sox get the 3rd pick. They move up at least.
Yeah.
Then they move down. All right, that's spin number 1. Spin number 2, Steven. Colorado.
The White Sox got jobbed. They're 6th place now.
Mercy. That's why
that would be so White Sox.
It would have been important to get swept by Colorado. They didn't do it. Colorado gets the number 1 overall pick. All right. Spin number 3, or Steven, I was going to say Herb.
Colorado
again. I told you.
And the GD White Sox again?
At 6.
Do me a favor, Steven. Reset it again.
Yeah.
And let's go back again, and let's spin for number 4.
Spin number 4. Colorado!
Goddamn Rockies and the White Sox are 7th now.
We're screwed. Oh, no. The Mets even move up 3. The Tigers move up 3.
This is
Pittsburgh
so White
moves up
Sox.
4. This is horrible. All right. Spin number 5.
There we go. Hey, finally.
Now, I want to see how many times we get out of 9. Come on. These people gave us 91 likes. Let's do it. That's spin number 5?
Yep.
All right, we're going to rapid fire on these.
Spin number
Okay.
6.
6.
Spin number 6. Sox stay at
Nothing.
4. Spin number 7. Sox get 2. All right. Spin number 8. Sox
7th.
fall to 7. Final one, number 9.
7th
Sox go to
again.
7. All right. So 1 was good. 2 was okay. Everything else kind of mid.
We suck.
But thank you all for giving us the number, giving us 90 likes on this video. We're very, very appreciative of everyone supporting us, especially with all of the unknown going on with the Chicago White Sox. But we at least have to celebrate today. All right. I know that we're not supposed to cheer for somebody losing their job, whatever. I fucking don't care.
We're cheering for accountability instead
Yes.
of people getting fired. Let's go with that angle.
Vinny did
Accountability.
send Pedro talking post-game about this. I'm going to post it to YouTube shortly after the show. It's definitely worth a watch. Pedro is also asked about his own job security, so you're going to want to look out for that on YouTube shortly.
Look at Steven with the tease. All right. Thank you, Stephen Nicholas, for producing the show. That's Herb Lawrence. I'm Sean Anderson. Thank you to Vinnie Duber for joining us from Guaranteed Rate Field, and we will talk to you tomorrow after the finale of the Mariners and White Sox series. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Thank you all for liking, and thank you for getting us to 35,000 subscribers. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.